as you can see here, we're talking about states of matter, and we've got our three main states. We have our solid, our liquid, and our gas. Now, besides just talking about temperature, what does the state of matter actually depend on? Well, the actual state depends on first of all, how far apart the molecules are, and then secondly, how free to move are they? And that's the main difference. Gases actually exist in a space that is so vastly empty that the molecules are so far apart that they actually have basically no intermolecular attractions. So, no, I'll put it like an asterisk, intermolecular attractions. I'm just putting the asterisk because there's always some slight, but we tend to ignore them. So no intermolecular attractions. Now, when we take a gas and we turn it into a liquid, what we're doing is we're actually taking those individual molecules, pretend my fingers are molecules now, I guess, and as you take them and move them closer and closer together, they start to have slight interactions with each other, and they'll start to form intermolecular attractions. And so liquids are just a loosely shaped series of molecules that have some level of attractions with each other, but they're not actually strong enough to kind of form a very strong and stable crystalline structure. So they are a kind of medium level of strength. They still have the ability to kind of move and flow over one another, but they don't actually have the highest level of attractions. So liquids, medium attractions. Still able to move / flow. Now, what happens when we talk about a solid? Well, now we're taking those molecules and we're putting them as close as possible, and they start to get into a very low energy state. They don't move relative to each other. They just kind of vibrate in place. So they are now the lowest energy. They have the highest attractions. And they do not move freely. Let me just clear that up. All right, so when it comes to the properties of these gases, or these different phases, solids are rigid, so they are not easily moldable or anything. They have a set structure. They have a fixed shape, and then they have a fixed volume. So not much there can really change. Now, liquids, on the other hand, they are not rigid. They have no fixed shape, but just like a solid, they have a fixed volume. So now for gases, not rigid, no fixed shape, and as you can imagine, no fixed volume. So just to give a sum up, gases, no intermolecular attractions. When you take a gas and you bring all the molecules close enough to each other, you can actually start to get intermolecular attractions, And if you can get them into low enough energy, they can start to kind of stay around each other long enough to form intermolecular attractions and form a liquid. Now, it doesn't, of course, have to go straight into a liquid. You can go from a gas to a solid, but we'll talk about that in a bit.